Hi, my name is Madison from Discover Cle Elum, and I'm here with Charlene. Will you please introduce yourself and tell us where we are?
Sure. Thank you for coming, Madison. I'm
course.
Charlene Kauzlarich, and we are sitting here at the Carpenter House Museum in Cle Elum.
Yes, and tell me just maybe a timeline of the Carpenter House, what it is, and how it came to be.
Well, Cle Elum during the late 1800s was going through a few bankers that always failed. And Frank Carpenter from back east heard about the need for a new banker in Cle Elum. So he came out here in about 1904, started up a bank, built a new one in 1906, and then he built this house in 1914.
Wow.
He had his wife and one daughter, and built this mansion at the time. It was really quite a fancy house for this coal mining area. Most of the people that lived here lived in small coal miners' houses.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was really quite the spectacle. It's 4 levels. It's a full basement plus 3 levels above it. He lived here and banked for 55 years before he passed away. Eventually, his daughter Margaret established the Historical Society. It turned out to turn the house over to the Historical Society after her death. So we have worked hard to maintain it in its original decor. We have a lot of the Carpenter possessions, furniture, carpeting still in place. We're just hopeful to preserve this for years to come, so people can see, how the elite in Cle Elum
Yes, it's interesting.
lived during that time period.
Yeah, it's very interesting to have something like this preserved. We see so much of, especially in Roslyn, the mining history, as you referred to, and kind of what the worker's life looked like. It was very rugged. So for as early as this time to have someone with wealth and kind of a name come to Cle Elum and build this, it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's a neat old house. It's got, of course, the living room and a library room, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. There's a ballroom upstairs, then the full basement. So
Wow.
It's quite a large room, and there's some really neat historical furniture, artifacts here. When we're in operation, which we hope to be come Memorial Weekend, we have the high country artists that maintain the building, and then they also exhibit their art throughout the museum and welcome the visitors and give tours to the visitors. So it's a busy place. We offer art classes during the summer, reading get-togethers, poetry writing, music, whatever happens to come by.
Yeah.
We try to keep it busy. In the fall, in the basement, we have night at the museum history lectures.
Ooh.
And that's always fun.
Yeah, so fun. So you guys have been closed through the last year or so.
Yes, unfortunately, we had to close our doors this last September. We were open during the summer months, but most of our workers are elderly, and so they had health concerns and certainly didn't want to take a chance on catching COVID. So that really cut down on the number of people available to keep our doors open to the visitors.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just we've been meeting via Zoom every month, and very hopeful to have a grand opening Memorial Weekend and be open at least through the summer.
Yeah.
So
we can't wait to celebrate with you. That'll be an amazing weekend. Everybody can hopefully get back together and check it out.
Yes.
And right now, folks can come in if they schedule an appointment with you, correct?
Yes, they can call me or email, and I'd be happy to give a tour.
Great.
Yeah.
So what does it take to keep this place running? What does the Historical Society do to make sure that it's keeping up to the quality standard that it's held for so many years?
Well, we're charged with keeping it in good shape. Mm-hmm. Over the years, we've had to write a number of grants to get help on rebuilding the roof, mm-hmm. putting on a new front porch. We've had it painted on the outside and on the inside with some plaster repair. You know, the walls are all plaster. So it's not like you can pound a nail in and hang up a picture.
Right.
You have to be so careful with it. So some damage has occurred there, and so that's been replaced. Our last big repair or remodel was to the basement. The basement was kind of damp and dank. It was cement and no insulation. It was pretty chilly down there, and that's where we had our art classes. So Suncadia came in and helped us with money to remodel it and get it insulated and update the wiring, and now we're able to do comfortable class settings down there, plus have our history lectures and whatever. So
that's wonderful. That's a great community partnership.
Yes.
Awesome that they're helping keep this alive.
Yes, our hope is to get more classes going down there, especially for kids. We've had after school programs down there for kids in the past, and it'd be nice to get something like that going again. Plus we've had reading programs for children, and
wow.
So there's a lot of things that could be happening once we get our doors open.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity. I love how you guys are so focused on preserving the past, which is so important for Cle Elum, and you still bring that modern flair of current day artists and helping give back to the youth and the community. And you're not just keeping this place safe, you're extending your arms to other groups and helping just engage our community in that way.
Yes, one thing we are all striving for, of course, is to keep this place going, and then build up enough interest in the young folks mm-hmm. to eventually come in and take over our jobs.
You guys are all volunteer ran too.
We are all volunteer. The Historical Society is funded through membership dues and donations primarily. So we really rely on our visitors to come see us and donate to keep our facilities going.
That's so important, and props to you guys for taking the time and the energy to continue to contribute towards something without necessarily getting paid for it. That just goes to show the passion behind projects like this.
Yeah, well, we just love this building, and it's a great avenue for the high country artists to get together and share in their work and creativity, and so
it's beautiful. Can you tell me anything else about Frank Carpenter? Can you tell me anything about him as a person, and maybe some of the values that he had or his history before actually being in this space?
Yeah, before he came here, he was an accountant.
Oh.
And he came out from Illinois and had some different accounting jobs. And once he got into the banking business, he did it extremely well. He actually had such a good business going that he built another bank up in Roslyn. The bank he built here in Cle Elum was the Cle Elum State Bank. And so the bank he built in Roslyn was the Roslyn branch of the Cle Elum State Bank. And it actually was the first branch bank built in Washington State.
Wow.
And he was very committed to the community. He held all kinds of fundraisers, was chair of that for decades. His family did fundraising here in the Carpenter House.
Wow.
The upstairs, the third floor, is a ballroom. And story has it that they actually had live music up there, and people would come and their nice
boogie.
fur coats and high heels and walk up the high stairs and have a fun time upstairs.
Wow.
Raising money for different charities. His wife also, Nora, led the Red Cross drive during World War I. And so she was involved with the community too. Not so much as her husband Frank. She was pretty bashful. And then their daughter Margaret was totally committed to preserving the history here in Cle Elum. She established the Historical Society in 1965, and then in 1967 turned the telephone museum over to the Historical Society. She successfully lobbied Bell Telephone to do that.
Wow.
And then after her death, her wishes were that this house be turned over to the Historical Society as well. So they really had quite an impact on this community. When this house was first built, they heated it with coal. And so as we go around the house, you'll see the radiators here and there.
Wow.
Of course, in the 60s, the coal mines shut down, and coal was not so easy to get anymore. So eventually, there were 2 gas furnaces put into the building, one on this floor and one up on the second floor. And I might add, when the house was actually bought by and turned over to the Historical Society, it wasn't actually bought, it was turned over to the Historical Society in 1989. There was quite a lot of damage to the house that had to be fixed. The roof was falling in, a lot of the plaster had come off the walls, and they needed to put in a new furnace, they needed to update the wiring. And so it's really been a lot of community work to get this building going and restored to its original.
A lot of hands and
license.
hearts behind it. You want to quickly explain if they want to learn more about the Carpenter House or help support you by donating or joining your membership for the Historical Society, or just visiting, where can they find all that information?
Yeah, we have all of that information on our website. It's at nkcmuseums.org, and there's information there for how you become a member of the Historical Society. There is also a virtual 360-degree tour of the museum. So if you are wondering what we have to offer and you're at home sitting in your easy chair, you can easily access that tour and see what we have here in the building. And we also have information there on how to get in touch with the High Country artists, how to join that organization, and any special events that we have coming in. Our phone number and all is on that website.
Great. We will make sure to include that information when we post about it, and you guys can help support in that way by visiting their website.
Right. NKC Museums with an S.
.org. Okay. Thank you.